You suck! Alright, I am going to do my best to stay under control here, but I am so frustrated and so pissed off right now that I can't make any promises. First, the ODB talk show bullshit. Let's get something straight right now. If you are 45 minutes into the program and you have had a grand total of 5 minutes of wrestling so far, the last thing you should be doing is a fucking talk show. You want ODB in the ring at Final Resolution? Fine, I have no problem with that. What I do have a problem with is the fact that the match is going to be horrendous because her opponent is not even a fucking wrestler. If you want a female representative for the main event mafia who can get in the ring, then you sign frickin' Sarah Del Rey or someone to a contract and have Charmel manage her. That's what you do. You do not put Charmel in a match because it's going to be a train wreck because she is not a fucking wrestler. Second, Feast or Fired. You're bringing back the Feast or Fired match? Are you fucking kidding me? The first time you did this match, it turned into a convoluted shitfest. And I will give myself a high colonic with a railroad spike if you got any positive feedback on that match at all. The only good thing that might come out of this is if Curryman gets the briefcase with the pink slip in it, and then they get rid of him and bring him back as the Fallen Angel. But that's a real long shot at this point. Third, you announce AJ and Joe versus the Motor City Machine Guns, a storyline rivalry that's been building for several weeks, and a match that by all rights should blow the roof off the plates if you give it enough time. What do? You give it less than 8 minutes, and then let half of it take place during a commercial break, completely undermining the importance of the match and the storyline. Fourth, so Awesome Kong wants opponents? Where the hell are Taylor and Roxy? Nothing's been settled between those three. Taylor never got her title rematch, and Roxy never even got a singles match with Kong at all. What happened to Roxy wanting payback for Kong giving her stitches in her face? What happened to that whole feud? And I'm telling you this right now, if the Knockouts title match at Final Resolution is Awesome Kong versus Raka Khan, heads are gonna roll, okay? Raka Khan hasn't earned a title match. Raka Khan hasn't earned shit. Raka Khan's been in TNA for over a year now, and she hasn't even proved that she can deliver a good match yet, for God's sake. Fifth, the main event of the pay-per-view is the Main Event Mafia versus AJ and Joe and 2 partners, and if the young guys win, then AJ is the new world champion, and I don't like it. I don't like it because unless it ends with AJ pinning Sting, it's going to completely undermine and discredit the title change. It'll be like CM Punk losing the world title when he wasn't even in the match. If you absolutely have to put the world title on the line in an 8-man tag, then a better stipulation would be if the young guys win, then the championship becomes vacant, and then those 4 guys have a fatal 4-way on Impact to determine the new champion. But instead, the way this is booked, you could have Samoa Joe pin Scott Steiner, and then AJ becomes the new world champion. That doesn't even make sense! I'm sorry for all the yelling. I'm sorry for sounding so negative today, but I am just so frustrated by what I'm seeing from TNA right now. And it aggravates me when they air that promo where they say that everyone else is content on doing the same thing, but we're different. Well, no, you're not different, TNA. Not right now, you're not. You know why? Because you keep doing the same thing. You're making the same damn mistakes over and over again. It's like you're trying to fit a round peg in a square hole, and then when it doesn't fit, instead of looking for a square peg, you keep trying to fit the round peg in again. And it's not working, but you're not getting that through your heads. Okay, example. ODB interviewing Charmel. Again, where the hell is the time management? Most of this was just ODB wasting time making stupid jokes that weren't even remotely funny. Then they talked about respect for a minute, saying the same stuff that we've heard 100 times before in the last couple of months. And then ODB challenges Charmel to a match. There was no reason for this segment to exist at all. At all. Okay? They should have cut this out of the show entirely, and then just kept the bit where ODB comes out to help Eric Young, have her get in Charmel's face, and then goes to Jeff Jarrett and says, "I want that bitch in a match." That's all you need to do. You can't waste time with stupid, pointless comedy bullshit when every single match on the show is already too fucking short. And speaking of the knockouts, if you've reached the point now where you're bringing in random indie wrestlers like Josie and Lexus for a match here, a match there, to get squashed by Kong or the Beautiful People, or just to fill out a spot on the show, basically, then it's time to sign some new women. If you think the Knockouts division's suffering without Gail Kim, then do something about it. And I don't mean sign just anybody. I don't know how the hell Lexus got a contract. It couldn't have been on the basis of her Impact match with Kong a few months ago, because that match was a snooze fest. When I say sign some new women, I mean look at Shimmer, look at Chick Fight, find the best women wrestlers out there, the best, okay? And sign someone who could be a legit replacement for Gail Kim. Now, one of my viewers informed me that Mercedes Martinez had a tryout match at the TV tapings recently that went really well. Well, Christ, TNA, get her in there already. I hate doing this. You know, I hate doing negative reviews. I always try to stress the positives about TNA whenever I can. And there were some positives on this show too. Like the stuff with Rhino was very good. But the bad stuff was just so glaring I could not get past it this week. The only good thing that I really want to point out here was actually something I mentioned in the last video. This week TNA broke from their usual pattern and started 10 p.m. with content instead of commercials. So that means that people who were channel surfing after their show was over and landed on Spike TV, they saw AJ and Joe versus the Machine Guns instead of commercials. So it'll be very interesting when the quarter hours come out, because if nothing else, I expect to see a higher than usual rating in the 10 to 10:15 segment. And that's all I'm going to say about that. For now, I'm going to wrap this up. Look, this whole thing has just got me really upset. I need to think about something non-wrestling related for a while. Okay, Knockouts Ring General update. From the feedback I've received, it looks like most people agree with me that Taylor and Melissa are the women on the current roster best qualified to carry the division right now. Although in Melissa's case, that's pretty contingent on the writers dropping the Muslim gimmick, which they don't seem to have any intention of doing. As for women on the indies, the general consensus seems to be that pretty much all of us want TNA to get off their asses and give Sarah Del Rey a tryout match already. And we also had a lot of support for Sarah Stock and honorable mentions for Daisy Hayes and Mercedes Martinez. So those seem to be like the four main women that people want TNA to go after right now. Now obviously we could never get all of them. That'd just be asking for too much, but one or two would not be out of the question, I think. Now, were it up to me, I'd probably go after Stock and Martinez before the other two, just because, well, Stock, because she's probably the closest we could get to matching that same style that Gail Kim wrestled, and Martinez, just because, and with Selena's gone, we got no Latino women in the TNA now. So I would like to get her in there just to like diversify things a little bit, because the last thing we want is a bunch of women who all look the same. So let's hope her tryout match panned out. Anyway, further updates on this as I get them. I'm going to wrap this up. That's all for now. We'll talk to you guys later.